Welcome to the Veterinary Marketing Podcast, where it's all about helping your veterinary practice attract, engage, and retain clients. Broadcasting a new podcast every Monday from sunny Southern California, here's your host, Brandon Bashirs.
Hey there, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to episode number 177 of the Veterinary Marketing Podcast. Hope you're having a fantastic week and day. In today's episode, we're going to cover 5 Facebook marketing strategies that you can use that I see working really well. And it's kind of like a marketing recipe where you can apply this strategy depending on what it is that you're looking to do. So it's going to be definitely, if you're thinking about doing Facebook ads or Instagram, I think these are some solid options in terms of paid traffic. I think it's going to be very beneficial for you. Before we begin, a few things. First, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe in iTunes, Google Play, wherever you get podcasts, Spotify. Be sure to also leave a review in iTunes. If you listen on iTunes, I would genuinely appreciate it. Let me know if there's anything I can do to improve the podcast in your mind, too. I would love to hear back from you. You can always send me an email, or you can head on over to the Facebook group, Veterinary Marketing Nerds, and it's facebook.com/groups/the Veterinary Marketing Nerds. Join there. You're able to get help, ask questions, collaborate, and there's a bunch of great discussion going on there. Tons of smart people. So it's a great place to be if you want to look to improve your veterinary practice's marketing. All right, let's jump into today's episode. So I mentioned we are going to be covering 5 Facebook recipes for success. Basically, it's different strategies that you can use depending on what your end goal is. So there's a few things that I think, number one, you have to understand what your end goals are, and also like making a solid mix of ads in terms of what you're promoting to and what you're pushing to is going to be helpful, so that you don't get ad fatigue, you don't get people just constantly being barraged with offers only. You're going to get a good mix of content, offers, and engagement, hopefully. I think those are kind of the 3 things that you should be shooting for. You should be working to grow your content, getting retargeting lists, building out segments, becoming a thought leader in your area. So people think, I need a veterinarian in my town of Lake Forest. Who is the veterinarian? If you create content and videos and live streams and things like that, you're able to get, you 100% could become the celebrity vet of your area. And I'm not saying you want to be famous, but you would be known for being the vet in your area. And it wouldn't take a ton of money to do it either. So just think about that when we're going through these different things. So let's talk about strategy number 1. And strategy number 1 is pretty simple. It is direct to a product or service page. And here you're going to try to specifically sell something to get them to come in. So number 1, you need to figure out what is the offer that you're going to be doing. What is the specific action that you want to take? Now, there's a few things that you need to consider. First is the specific target that you're using here. If you're going to go for cold traffic, or maybe a specific avatar that you create, a specific target audience, you need to consider, okay, we need to make sure that we're giving an offer that's going to be, number 1, wanted, and number 2, it's going to compel people to take action. So depending on the person that you're going to be targeting is going to kind of create a range of offers that you need to consider, or just how much you're willing to give away, or how much bonuses you're willing to do, right? On kind of a scale of you're not giving anything away to you're giving away a free exam, or a free something. You have points in between that. And so think about who's the audience that you're going to be trying to reach out and target, because you need to give more away to get somebody who doesn't know, like, and trust you already to come in and try you. Now, that being said, get creative with your offers. Bonuses are fantastic, especially when you can get reps to give away free stuff. That's awesome. So that you could say, hey, we have X, Y, and Z is included with an exam. Come and get it right now. If you're doing like a flea treatment, or whatever it is that you're able to get and give away as a bonus to get people in the door and to book more appointments. So that's one. That's pretty much like direct. We're just going to go and sell something. Now make sure that when you have, and I'm not saying you sell like with e-commerce, but make sure that you have a clear call to action. Make sure that you understand what your ideal call to action is so that you can actually measure it. So if you're going to have a form on your website, make sure that you have an autoresponder set up so that when they fill out something, they immediately get a response with instructions on how to book the appointment or how to redeem the offer. Make it as simple as possible and create as many touch points with the contact as possible. You want to make sure that you're doing on a minimum email. I would also do phone call follow-up right away. The faster that you can get to them, the better, the more you're going to be able to convert. And then, depending on how much contact info you get, you might do direct mail, probably not. But, the more contacts that you have with the client and customer, the more you're going to get them coming in. All right, number 2 strategy is to create content, send it out for cold traffic, and I think this is specifically on your website, but use content to build up an audience who's going to want your end service at your practice. So whether it's nutrition consultations, rehabilitation, specialty services. This is kind of hard to do with emergency services. This probably wouldn't work so well. Although, it actually, now that I say it as I'm speaking here, it actually would work pretty well if you had like checklists for what to do in case of an emergency for X, Y, and Z. And if you targeted that only to specific pet owners in the area, you'd be able to build up a retargeting audience for that specifically. But, creating content that's going to be built around the specific topic that you're doing. Now, you don't have to put it on your website necessarily, but you could do like live streams on Facebook and Instagram. You could do specific videos that you post on Instagram or YouTube. If we're talking about Facebook marketing, though, you're going to want to be sure to use Facebook specifically here because you're able to create retargeting audiences of people who watch the videos that you have. So, if you have, let's say, a video that you create that is about, a comprehensive puppy video, and if you're considering getting a puppy, you need to watch this because there's 5 things that you really, really need to know. And then you go over those 5 things, and then you create a retargeting audience that is at least 25% video viewers of the video, and then you show them an offer for your puppy package, right? But that allows you to segment that cold traffic, warm it up, and get them more ready to buy. So this is kind of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to just identify different segments of the audience. The more specific that you can be, the more interesting your marketing is going to be. Because cat owners aren't going to be interested in that puppy video, so it just provides value to a specific group of people, which then makes it interesting, right? If I was to say to you, like, hey, I have some really cool veterinary dentistry CE that you can watch, most people would find that really boring. A select group of veterinarians would find it really interesting, right? And it's because it's specific. So that segmentation makes it interesting to some people, even though it's not like super entertaining, right? It's just interesting. So think about that. More specific equals more interesting to the right kinds of people. That's definitely an important distinction. So that's number 2, is going from cold audience to content, and definitely important. And it's always, 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 always important that you're casting a wide net out there and that you are attracting new potential clients to your practice. And so that's what content does for you. Let's talk about number 3 strategy, and that is going to a lead magnet. So here you're going to be offering a specific piece of, specifically a piece of value that you're going to exchange for the contact info. So here we're not saying come and get information. Here we're saying come and get the 5 things that you need to know. We have a checklist. You have to have these 5 things before you decide to get a puppy. Or if you are trying to train your puppy, you need to know these things. Or, it has to be specific and actionable. And the best kind of lead magnet that you can offer is going to provide a quick win. So is there something that you can do or offer that's going to immediately give value to your prospective customers? Because I want you to think about this. If you've ever gotten advice from somebody, maybe in a specific industry, you've taken their advice and you've used it and it worked well, all of a sudden you have credibility. And that's what lead magnets have the potential to do. So we're trying to target a specific segment. We're trying to give them something that's extremely applicable and valuable. And then we're going to later say, hey, if you want additional work, or if you want additional advice, or if you want specific services, be sure to come and use us, type of a thing. I think I can think of lots of specifics when it comes to digital marketing. Like if I said, hey, I have 3 settings that you're using in your AdWords that are costing you tons of money. If you turn off these 3 settings, you will save money. And I could send that to people, and if they did it and they used it, they would say, wow, this actually worked really well. I can't believe I was wasting half of my ad budget. It's just because you don't know what you don't know, right? So what is the veterinary equivalent of that? And you're going to have to know what that is, because I'm not a medical professional. But that's what a lead magnet should do. And that way you're able to build a list. But lists only work if you communicate with them. So you need to also send out emails. But direct to lead magnets from Facebook is still a great way, or Instagram, a great way to build a list and then communicate with that list. You want to make sure to always be doing geographical targeting across all of these strategies, because only the people that can come into your practice are going to be the kinds that you want to be targeting here, because you're spending money for these people. So make sure that you are setting that up. Okay, strategy number 5 is a mini course, or I would say it's an email delivered mini course. And so what you can do here is take people from Facebook or Instagram that are local to you. What you can do is then create a content series that's either done through email, or done through videos, or done through podcast, or however you want to kind of display the information. But I think using video is probably the best way, just because with video, people get to see you. They know who you are. When they come into your practice, they're going to already have familiarity with you because they've seen your videos and things. And also, people take in a lot of information with their eyes. And so that is one of the best ways to help communicate things that are possibly difficult to convey just with words in an email series, or like over a podcast. So there's just a big difference with that. So doing video is, I think, really, really well. A really good idea here. It works really well. And so what you'd want to do is create a 3-part series where you show something that you like, give them value. And thinking about specific headaches or pain points, or things that stress out pet owners, I'm thinking of, like, if you did a nutrition series, for example, and then you went over and you said, here's how you can really understand what's in dog food. We're going to break down a few of the dog food bags and go through the nutritional facts and tell you what you need to worry about and what you don't. And then they would see you doing it. They'd see you going through it. That would be cool. And then the next one is how to change your dog's diet without having them go days without eating, or, like whatever stress problems that they have. I know that pet owners stress a lot about their pets' diets, and especially if it makes them either throw up, have bad bathroom accidents all over the house, or they don't eat, right? So, like, if you show them what to do in a video series, you're going to be able to convert those cold traffic leads into warm traffic leads, and then they're going to want to come in, especially if you were doing like a diet series, for example. And then at the end of the series, you had an offer that said, we have a special with all of our exams right now. We're going to give you a comprehensive nutrition assessment and make recommendations based on your dog's lifestyle, their breed, and their health needs, or whatever it was, right? And then they see all of the things that you've already given them. You've already provided the value. They're going to say, wow, this person is fantastic. I'm going to come in and this is going to be great. So that's kind of strategy number 4 there. And then strategy number 5 for Facebook is pretty simple. And this one I think is probably one of the most effective. Is that you build retargeting ads for people that are visiting specific pages of your site. Now, with this retargeting strategy, you don't have to have a huge budget. You can have a small budget and still be super effective with this. If you have, let's say, 2,000 people visiting your site each month, just having retargeting ads that are only targeting people who visited your site with direct book an appointment link or some way for them to book an appointment and come in. So reminding them for specific services, reminding them for whatever it is that you really want to be pushing in your practice, whether you want to make people aware that there's boarding now available or that, whatever it is that you got. You know your practice. Everybody's practice is so different. So what is it that you should be reminding your clients? If you could remind them something, what would that be? And that retargeting ad is just going to be extremely effective, and it's going to be very cost effective too. I mean, you could reach a small list of 1,000 people for $5 a week. Maybe $10 at most, depending on the time of the year. So just think about that. I mean, how valuable is it that you're staying in touch with all of the people who visited your website, which is probably the best audience that you have, for $10 a week? Totally makes sense for me. And I would be doing it if I owned a veterinary practice. So those are the 5 strategies that I wanted to talk about. Number 1 is direct to services with your different audiences. Number 2 is use content to warm up cold traffic, turn it into warm traffic, and then build up specific segments that you can then show different ads for specific services. Number 3 is using a lead magnet to help build up segmented lists. Number 4 is creating mini courses or mini series that help build credibility for you. They also help drive specific services in your business. And then number 5 are retargeting ads, trying to reach out to people who already know, like, and trust you so that you can sell more services to them. I hope that this was helpful to you. If you ever have any questions, you need help with anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. And again, don't forget to join the Facebook group, The Veterinary Marketing Nerds. I hope to see you in there, and I'll see you on next week's episode. Have a great day, everybody.